coffee with Allan at this beautiful little resort here, and we're now looking those ranges there, that's Magaliesberg. Allan pointed out there were only a few 4 passes, I think he said, to get through that mountain range. And this is where we're up to now.
Yeah, so there are 4 passes. Directly in front of us there's Silkaatsnek, or Uitval neck, as it's called in the Johnny Boer book. Not that neck there, but behind that house is a commando neck where we'll be going past just now. And then further on we've got Olifantsnek where we'll be stopping for lunch. And then right the other side of Rustenburg is Magaliesberg. So this
is that where we are now?
That's where we are now. Yeah. Okay, so we standing. I took it from just over there, but it's that's it. So we've got Gun Hill here in front of us. Gun Hill. That there is Camp Hill. And then on the other side of the road, as we came over the bridge, there was where the convoys used to park. What happened is that for the first battle of Silkaatsnek, which we're going to discuss now, we had the Scots Greys here, and we had the Lincolnshire Regiment here. The Boers attacked. They were the only people who were here. There was no garrison. It was just like a camp. What happened then is Baden-Powell recognized this as a strategic area, and he set up a garrison here with a hospital, with a supply depot, and this really took over from Rustenburg. So Rustenburg, which is out at a limb, if you have a look from where we're standing now, where that house is, for about 30 kilometers is what they call the Hekpoort Valley. So it was very fertile ground, a river obviously running through it, and which they dammed up for Hardebeesport Dam later. So this became the area. Instead of taking people through to a hospital or casualties to a hospital in Pretoria, they'd bring them here. So there was a 300-bed hospital here. At the end of the Boer War, it was just flattened. So there's no remnants here of gun positions or anything like that. So that's the base. This is the Rietfontein base. What we're going to be doing just now is we're going to be going to Camp Hill over there to visit the cemetery, where there are 129 people reinterred. So you must, in the valley here where a lot of skirmishes took place and casualties from the 2 battles of Silkaatsnek, they were buried. When they built a dam, they had to reinter them all at that cemetery that we're going to be visiting.
So we're on foot now. Allan has discovered a little known cemetery that we're ascending the hill to get to.
I'll lead the way.
Yeah. Allan's fitter than I am, which is... There's this terrain that we experienced at Canon Copy.
Oh, right, yeah.
These are called clips, these stones. It's another sort of gated community.
Certainly not a squatter camp.
No.
Just outside, you haven't got much further.
All right, yeah. Look at them all. These are the same crosses we saw at Mafeking. Can we get in?
Yeah.
Who would own this land?
This is almost government property.
Right. You might hear my breathing, guys. This is why I gave up vaping. Is this one of the photos you gave me?
Yeah.
And Allan tells me this is undiscovered, so they haven't stolen the, you know, the iron crosses and melted them. So here they lay in Africa's warm soil. There's a shell, Allan. Or was that a snail?
Yes.
Is it a snail?
Yes.
Well, look at the size of the snails. Don't let the French know. Wow, look at this. The Worcesters. This guy's killed by lightning. John Hook. 1900. A bandsman of the Lincolnshires. Rietfontein. He's only 19. Now these bodies were reinterred, Allan.
Yes.
They weren't originally buried here. But in building the dam, is that what you said? They found them, and when do you think they were reinterred?
It says there on one of these, I think it was 1960.
Okay. This is Sergeant Belshaw, 1900, the Carbineers, or Carabineers. Sergeant Spencer, 72 they've been reinterred. This is where we're going. Noordgedacht. Fusiliers. In memory of the trooper Arthur McGrady of the Fife Light Horse. That's a Scottish. He's born in Dundee. So, Allan, would these headstones have been where they were buried and they brought them over?
The older ones, yes. The newer ones, no.
Okay.
So the newer ones, you might see, like here. This was done by a guy in Pretoria.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And most of them have got, some of them erected, not erected, but put together in Cape Town.
Could you hold it and take a photo of me up against this one? Just hold it. Brilliant. Just step back a bit. Yeah, that'll do.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Good. Here we go.
These vicious weeds that grow everywhere in South Africa, thorns. But this looks relative. Oh yeah, 1972 by the War Graves Board, Kitchener's Scouts. Well, we've seen a lot of these. Kitchener's Horse. We've seen a lot of these names, haven't we? In my monuments series, the Gloucestershires, the Highlands. They probably wore their kilts out here, you know. It's interesting the way they've spaced them out. Did you say the VC winner is here?
No.
Okay.
No, he got the VC on top of the hill there, but survived. So.
There's a New Zealander, Rough Rider. Any Australians? Oh, there's one. Trooper Francis, the Victorian Rifles. A couple of Bushmen.
So we're going to be going to that battle where he was killed.
Oh, cool. A couple of Yorkshires. Pilkington. Scots Greys. Oh, they took him home, did they?
Yes.
That would be unusual.
So what, there is a plaque here to 10 unknown soldiers. There's a headstone, and I believe I've found those 10.
Oh.
I believe he's one of the 10. I believe that there was a grave, even though he was taken back. There was some indication left here that he was. So that book that I showed you, 800 pages,
Yeah.
I've gone through that whole book and I've found the names of people who were buried here or reinterred here where there is no indication.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be producing a.
You can see there where it says 10 unknown British soldiers.
There we go.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Undermentioned members of the 2nd Battalion, Lincolnshire, Silkaatsnek.
So this was the first battle of Silkaatsnek, 11th of July.
That's right. And look at this beautiful. Might, oh, well, that makes sense. Right, we'll just have a quick run along here. I can't really see the links, Lincolnshires, Private Luck, the Lincolnshires, Styles, Mins, I think, Private Hill of the Lincolnshires, Hickling, Private Hayward, Private, can't quite see the Lincolns again. These are all the Lincolns. Elston, Collins something. Avoid these horrible thorns. Anderson, Baker, he's a lieutenant corporal, and Pritchard from the Lincolns. So what a place, eh? What a magic place to be exposed to. And this is research Allan did to find this. I wonder how many people get the opportunity to come in. Here's a real big, the SAC, South African Constabulary.
That's it. Formed by Baden Powell.
Baden Powell is our scouting master. Okay.
Our commandos would go back to their area. So Delaray was assigned the Western Transvaal. Viljoen was Eastern Transvaal. And what Delaray did is he convinced Smuts to come with him. And what they were doing is they were traveling on the far side of that hill towards Rustenburg. So there you've got Delaray, you've got Smuts, you've got his commando. They're now going to go and convince the Boers who put down their arms to fight for them again. And scouts report that this neck here is loosely held by British. So what they did is, if you have a look here, the British guns are in that neck over there, all right? We've got the Scots Greys. You can take a picture of this if you like. But the British are on the sides of the hills. They're not where we're standing here. So they're not in a commanding position of that neck. And Delaray decides, because it's weakly held, he's going to attack this. And what he did on the 11th of July, he attacked Silkaatsnek. Now there were 4 battles that took place on the 11th of July. This one, we're going to be doing, the last battle today is Dwarsvlei, 11th of July. And there were 2 outside Pretoria, one Witpoort and the other one at Onderstepoort. And those 4 battles, you mentioned in the car that there were battles that encouraged the Boers to take up arms again.
Yeah.
This is what happened. So this all happened over here.
Allan, sorry. No. How many men might be in a commando? It just varied?
It varied, yeah. Okay. So they reckon that there were 1,200 Boers.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so there were 1,200 Boers that were travelling with Delaray. So you must remember, you've got the Pretoria commander, you've got the Rustenburg commander, and you've got a few other smaller commandos in this area who are now going back with Delaray to try and re-establish their prominence in the Rustenburg, Hekpoort area. Hekpoort Valley, as I said, very strategic to the Boers because the British can't get through with guns. there's lots of places where you can hide, and it's fertile. I mean, you've got orchards, you've got wheat, you've got game. In those days, game was plentiful here as well. So the Boers could survive here for almost ever if they wanted to.
Just a reminder, commando is an Afrikaans word. Is that
Yes,
true?
Absolutely, yes.
And it's entered the British language, or the English language. Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Okay, so what happened at this battle here is that the Boers overran, they captured those 2 guns. The Lincolnshire Regiment managed to escape towards 75 of them to Pretoria. Halfway to Pretoria, reinforcements were coming. The reinforcements decided that it was a losing cause, so they all went back to Pretoria. At that stage, the Boers couldn't take any prisoners. Remember Ladysmith? So before Pretoria fell, any prisoners that were taken by the Boers were sent up by train to Pretoria.
That's
So
right.
the officers were kept in the Pretoria Staatsgymnasium area. There was a prisoner of war camp called Uitval, and then where we're going to be going on our 2-day trip, there was another prisoner of war camp called Nooit Gedacht, which is just east of Waterval Orna, where there's nothing there, but you'll be able to see where that is. So here, there's no point in capturing prisoners. What you do is you take their guns, you take their valuables, set them off. They can go and find whatever they want to find, but there's no ways the Boers were taking them to slow them down.
Churchill was kept in, what, a college or something in
Yes.
Pretoria?
Yeah, the starts.
And that's all gone, I suppose.
Yes.
Okay.
Look, it's still there, but it's just it's almost like a squatter camp.
Yeah, right. Okay, Allan paused there, but I think he was a bit worried. I was going to say, let's go there. This is a reading from The War with Johnny Boer. It says, on the 10th of July, the pass known as Silkaatsnek or Uitval Neck, which passed through the Magaliesberg Mountains, northwest of Pretoria, was occupied by Major H.J. Scobell's force of Scots Greys, the 2nd Dragoons, and the 1st Australian Horse. In support were 2 guns of O Battery RFA and 5 companies of the 2nd Battalion of the Lincolnshires. The next day they were attacked by Della Ray, and the guns were taken. 24 men were killed and 44 were wounded. 84 of the Lincolns were taken prisoner. Trooper Harold L. Harnett of the 1st Australian Horse, who had been a prisoner at Waterval and who had rejoined his regiment, recorded the account of this disaster in a letter to his brother John from Vereeniging under the date the 23rd of June 1900, which was clearly finished after the 12th of July. It's dated the 12th of July, Pretoria. It says, quote, yesterday morning, just at break of day, the most terrible rifle firing commenced. The Boers attacked our men at one of 3 passes. Our men consisted of number 3 squadron of Greys and about 400 Lincolns, infantry and 2 guns. The Boers managed to get on top of the big hills overlooking the pass during the night. All the Greys and Australian Horse were called out with 2 12-pounders. We were at it all day. The Boers during the afternoon brought into action a big gun and pom-pom. We don't know what the result is yet, but about 75 Lincolns managed to get out to us. They say their comrades were very hard pressed and can't return. The 2 guns in the neck are damaged. Scores of horses and mules killed, and several officers wounded and 1 captain killed. We had to retire here last night and reinforcements came out at dark. They were up there somewhere this morning. We got here at 2 o'clock this morning. I've never heard such awful rifle firing, and the roar of the guns was something to remember. We are resting here today. 19 of the Australian Horse came from Kroonstad and joined us on the night of the 10th. Harris Woods was with them. I heard the Boers attacked the 4th Brigade yesterday at Carmel Drift. Most of our remounts are done already. Country worse than anything around Monaro. We're camped near the Vonderboom Fort.